Medicare math can really help you enable your clients to make a good decision, make a better decision. Again, we are educators.
Yes.
Not imagine going to class and the teacher never uses a whiteboard. She's just like, if you look in your book, you take this times this plus this times this, and they never lay it out. And if you're a visual learner, you're screwed, right? Yeah. So take some time, lay it out for your clients.
What you're giving them is option, and you're giving them savings potential.
Yeah.
Whether they choose to take it,
that's up to them.
Up to them.
Up to them completely. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Medicare Sales Playbook. I'm your host, Dallas Keithley, joined today by our ever-growing taller Medicare Matt Smith. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen, he is sitting down. I am standing up. And it is what it is.
And if it helps, I actually lowered my stool a little bit.
It does not. I did not like that at all. But we're going to continue on. But today we're going to talk a lot about numbers. We're going to talk about how to help your clients see the picture using some Medicare math. And so I want to jump right into it. A few things we're going to talk about. First off, and I'm going to try on this first one, I'll talk, you kind of do it on the board, because if we go away from the mic, you're not going to be able to hear us, but we'll get there. Okay, so we're going to talk today about explaining a Medicare supplement first. So here's how we explain a Medicare supplement. So if I'm working out a Medicare supplement for my clients, the first thing I'm doing is I'm finding out what their Part B premium is going to be.
Okay.
Right? I explained to them A is 0. B, and the last episode we talked about how to use the IRMA chart and how to determine what it is. So you don't have to be like, so how much money do you make? You can just say, hey, point on this chart where you fell 2 years ago. But let's say for easy math's sake, they're at, they're below the 106. And so they're looking at 185. Part B is going to be 185. So I lay everything out for them. All right. And Celine's telling us we got to write big, Matt. So can you see that? Is that good? Bigger than that, she says. Okay. All right. We do whatever Celine says. Yeah. So Part B, are you sure you're not left-handed?
I am not left-handed. Should we switch sides here?
Just kidding. Part B is 185. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to look up a supplement price. Now, here in the state of Missouri, average supplement, let's say, is what, 120?
Sure.
Is that fair? Okay.
I think it's fair.
So 120. So I'm going to lay that out for them. So if I add 120 on there, then I'm going to look up a PDP price. Of course, doing that, we're going to put in, whether you use Medicare.gov or Medicare Center or Sunfire, whatever tool you use, we're going to put in all their prescriptions, all that stuff, and look it up. And let's say that the PDP price, we're going to go pretty cheap here. I think the average, let's just do the national average, is 40.
It's 35.
35 bucks. So let's say 35 bucks, right? Okay. Now, so that's what they're going to pay for their premiums. You got the Part B, you got the supplement, you got the PDP. Okay. Then, so I'm going to add all that together and I'm going to come up with their monthly premium, right? So if I'm doing it right, Matt's pulling out the calculator. I love that. So we've got, this is a learn while we go, and then 185 plus 155. And you will find out, folks, that I never do math in public. We come up with a grand total of $340. Okay. Now, then I will take that times 12, and I'll show you why here. So if I take 340 times 12, I come up with the number of $4,080. What am I at? $4,080. Okay. Now, this is a part where I'm going to check in and make sure they're following me. Right. Okay. So $4,080. Now, I have to add one other thing to that to find out what they're going to spend out of pocket for this year.
Sure.
Which is?
Drug cost.
Drug cost, well, two things in. Drug cost, let's say on that 35, let's say that is their complete drug cost. Okay, 35 a month. Okay. Yeah. The Part B deductible. Okay. Which in 2025 is?
257.
257. I'm glad you knew that. I had a number in my head, but I wasn't sure. So 257. So I add that up, and that comes to, let's go 7, 13.
I'm going to beat you to it.
3. That's $4,137.
Close.
$4,237. $337. You see why I don't do math in public, boys and girls? There it is. So somewhere on the paper, I will write that really big, $4,337, because that represents no matter come what may.
Yeah.
And I always present it this way, Matt. If we're looking at this MedSup, the beautiful thing about a Medicare supplement is you can go anywhere in the country you want.
Yep.
You can see any doctor you want, any hospital. As long as Medicare approves it and that doctor takes Medicare, you are good to go. You can go to every doctor, every hospital, come down with every condition known to man. Your magic number is 4337, right? On the other side of it, Medicare supplements can be a catch-22 because on the other side of it, you can go one time to the doctor, get your MRI, CAT scan, dog scan, x-rays, all that stuff.
Can.
What do you pay out of pocket?
Still going to pay the same.
It's $43.37.
Yeah.
Right. And I always
I
explain
want to
like,
make sure we're talking about a plan G here. I want to
Plan
make sure
G,
we're
yep.
not nuancing it back to a plan F or talking about a plan N, something like that. So I wanted to make sure we were level set with that.
So plan G, I'm paying $43.37. Now, I want to pause right here and explain a couple things. I used to think wealthy people bought Medicare supplements.
Sure.
Unwealthy people bought Medicare Advantage plans. That is no longer the case.
No.
What would you say determines now who buys what? Take me through some of the thought process when people are thinking about buying something.
I mean, and you're right. And there still is that kind of that misconception at times that, well, these people have money, they're going to go med sup. I'm not even going to present an MA plan to them.
Right.
But I mean, there are several things that come down to. One of the things that people make decisions on is flexibility, right? Like I can go see any doctor. I don't worry about their network, none of those things. I can go anywhere that Medicare is accepted, which is almost anywhere. My med sup will travel.
Yep.
That's a big one. The other one is the predictability. Like, can this person afford $340 a month? I mean, that might be pricey to them, but they can afford the predictability of $340 a month versus, getting a $900 or a $1,200 hospital copay.
Exactly.
They can afford the predictability.
And one thing you need to do is never, ever sell using your wallet.
Sure.
Because maybe you've had a bad month and you're like, holy cow, $4,337, that's a lot of money.
Yep.
Well, you don't know what they're coming out of, right? For example, my health insurance right now, now this is for a family of 4, but it's about $15,000 a year. If you told me, Dallas, you go to any doctor, any hospital in the United States, and another thing you need to explain to your clients is that's copays, that's deductibles.
That's everything.
That's everything. The most you will ever spend.
Number in your checkbook and call it good.
You are spending $43.37. Come what may.
Sure.
You say that to me, I'm on board. I don't even want to hear option 2. $43.37 right now. The one thing we didn't put in, dental, vision, hearing, and I explain all that to them. That's going to be about another $85 in this area if you want a really good dental vision plan.
Yeah.
So we'll throw all that in. But what I want to get across here is there's really 2 types of people. Some people buy based on facts and figures. I can go here. This cost me this much. Other people will buy on comfort and ease of use, right? Like, look, I know this is more expensive than an MAPD. I don't care. I want to be able to go to my doctor. I've been through this. I've been through that. I've been through this. And what frustrates me sometimes is when agents try to get them to see their point of view. Because, see, you and I buy things too.
Sure.
For example, you drive a Dodge Ram.
I do.
Right?
Yes.
I drive a Ford Mustang.
Correct.
Right? You and I are in different parts of our lives. You have car seats.
I do.
And because you have kids, I don't want it to be weird.
Too many of them.
Yeah. I do not. I do have kids.
I'll let you have a car seat if you want one.
I do not.
Offers on the table.
No. Well, I don't even want to see option 2. It's a no for me. No, but I have kids. My kids they don't ever ride with me anymore. But we're in different stages of our life. I'm in a midlife crisis. You haven't got there yet.
Not yet.
Right. And I don't think you'd fit in a Mustang, to be real honest with you. It'd be close.
No,
we'd have to talk the top off, and now I'm just
convertible. We take
the
top. There we
yeah.
go. I mean, it's a perfect scenario.
I like it. We digress
A little bit,
but you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
don't try to force your buying motives on someone else.
Yeah.
Just take them through. You are an educator. Let them pick.
Yeah. And I think that the other thing that is, but that is very challenging as an agent at times as well, because we do this for a living.
Yeah.
I mean, we sit down and we do this with hundreds and hundreds of people. You know, you can sit down with a client and you can say, I know the right route for you.
Yeah.
But you know, that's us purchasing with our knowledge
Facts
and with
and figures and our knowledge. Yeah.
As opposed to whatever their motive is. Like, I could look at this and say, man, you went to the doctor once last year. Why in the world wouldn't you do this? That may not be important to them. This is important to them.
They're worried about the future.
Yes. Yep.
They're worried about their grandpa went through this, their grandma went through this, their neighbor told them this.
Yeah.
Man, our job is to provide peace of mind.
Sure.
Not our opinion.
Nope.
So, okay, so that's a supplement. We lay that out. That's 4337. Now, you wanted to talk about how to compare, and I'll draw on this one if you want me to. We're going to keep 4337 over there. Okay. Now, I'll go over here. I'll start drawing. Okay. And this is like a game, like a really poorly designed game that nobody wants to play at home.
You don't know what I'm going to tell you to write.
Exactly. And so we may end up drawing a Pictionary over here. I don't know what's happening next, but I'm going to erase this.
Okay. So, you know, the next thing we'll go through is we're going to go through, obviously this is the Med Sup side of it. Let's talk about the MA side of it. You know, not just somebody looking at a brand new at a Medicare Advantage plan, but one of the ones that I feel like I run into more often times than not, especially with agents, is, hey, I've got client Joe who's on a Med Sup. They just took a nasty rate hike, and he doesn't live in a birthday or anniversary rule state. He can't health qualify. What's an MA product look like for him? Like, how can I show him what a Medicare Advantage product would look like without, one, scaring him to death, right, and, you know, trying to dispel all the rumors that he's heard? So this is how we would do that. Okay. So I actually just had this, erase this off my board last week. So we'll start out with the knowledge that everybody has to pay their Part B premium. Okay. Same character here, $185. Okay. Now the difference here is with our MAPD is that we are not going to have that premium. Right. What we had $155 in premiums. Our premium is going to be $0. Not free, $0. Big difference. Big difference. Not they're not free.
Medicare drew on your face.
Medicare does not. I'm going to use free from now on. Medicare does not like. Let's talk about that. Medicare does not like the word free, best, honestly better. Like, they don't like those subjective terms like that.
Right. And I want to ask you a question. I'm going to throw you an objection here, Matt. I see that number.
Yeah.
And I try to head this objection off.
Okay.
When you see this zero, client, a lot of people think it's too good
to be true.
Yep. How do you handle that?
Well, the difference between and I agree, $0 feels too good to be true, but remember, it's not free. Mm-hmm. It's a $0 plan premium. The difference is with your Medicare Supplement, you're paying up front regardless of how much or little you use. With a Medicare Advantage plan, you get to pay for exactly what you use and you use alone.
Right.
So if you're extremely healthy or whatever the case might be, you may pay a lot less. If you're not, you may pay more. This is going to be, though, based on you, not based on the block of business.
Another thing I tell clients too is it's your portion of the premium is $0. Okay. The government actually pays.
Sure, true.
They pay the United Healthcare, Humana, whoever. The government actually pays them to take you. Yeah. So they're paying about $1,200 to $1,500 to take you. And I have clients asking me all the time, why would they do that? Because they understand on the Medicare Supplement side, they are on the hook for 20% or 80% of your medical bills. Yeah. And so they're trying to diversify some of their risk and separate that out. So they pay for them to take you. Your portion is $0.
And how much the government pays the companies is based on, you know, risk adjustment, how much risk that client poses inherently into the company. Yeah. That's a really fun route we can go down, but we won't do that here today. That's Matt previously. Okay, so $0 plan premium, that's also include the prescription drug coverage, so we don't need to put anything in there for the prescription drug coverage as well. So here's where we're going to kind of walk down the line. And typically, obviously, we're going to have a summary of benefits or something in front of us to outline what the copays are. So you have to keep me in line so I don't miss, say, different copays here. So we're going to say this plan is going to have a $0 primary care copay. Okay. We're going to say it's a $30 specialist. We're going to say it's $45 to go to the urgent care. Let's say it's, I know I'm throwing you a bunch there. Let's say it's $100 for the ER. Then let's say it's $300 a night for 5 nights for the inpatient hospital. There we go. That's the number I was looking for. Yeah. So once we kind of lay out these numbers, the first thing I'm going to ask is, what's your year look like last year? Yeah. How many times a year do you go to the primary care doctor?
Twice.
You go to doctor twice. Okay. Yeah. So I would then say, I'd make a chart. I'd make a T chart here, and I would say, wherever you want to put that T chart.
Can you still see me over here if I go over here? Okay.
I'd make a T chart. The one on the left-hand side, this is going to be what your year was last year. Okay. So just, 2024. And then next one is just going to be a question mark because we're going to have a little fun on that side. 2024, you went to the PCP 2 times. 2 times 0 is 0. So you would have paid $0.
Hold on.
There we go. You got it. Okay. How about next year? Let's go to the PCP 10 times. Still 0. Now they're going to say, Matt, I'm never going to do that. I'm like, I don't care how many times you're going to go. We're just going to say it for the fun of it.
It is fun.
It is fun. How many times did you go to the specialist?
1 time.
You went to the specialist 1 time. Okay, so you would have spent $30 this past year on your specialist copays. But, let's say it's a wild year, and let's say we're going to go, let's go to the specialist. Let's go 10 times to the specialist this year. I'm using dramatic numbers, but let's have fun with it.
I'm not going to lie. I was nervous as I took 30 times 10.
And I was just going to let you go.
Yeah.
Okay, did you go to the urgent care last year any?
We went once.
Okay, you went once last year. Let's just go once this year too. And typically in this scenario, I would make this coming year, I'd make it a lot more exaggerated. But we'll keep it simple there. Did you go to the emergency room any this year?
Let's say we went once.
Okay, you went once. All right, let's go twice this year. So you spent $100 last year, you're going to spend $200 this year. Okay, so you went twice to the ER. Now, one thing that I didn't put up here, did you drive yourself to the emergency room?
No, took an ambulance.
Took an ambulance, great. So we need to put an ambulance copay up here. An ambulance copay is, let's do $250. Let's say ambulance copay is $250.
Okay.
Now you'd had to pay that. So you'd have paid $250 last year. And we're just going to say we're going to do 1 ambulance ride this time.
Okay.
This year. We'll just do $250 both times. All righty.
Are you going to make me add all this up?
I'm going to help you.
Lord have mercy.
But you're going to have to add it up in your head, and then I'll add up on the calculator and see who gets there right.
Show me it's right.
Did you go to we talked a little bit before I started doing this now. You said you didn't go to the hospital last year. When was the last time you spent the night in the hospital?
3 years ago. I had knee surgery.
Okay, so you 3 years ago. You want to go for 2 nights this year?
Sure.
Let's go 2 nights this year.
You're going to go
Let's go to the hospital 2 nights this year. Let's spend $600 at the hospital. Now, you mentioned that you had knee surgery. Uh-huh. So now knee surgery was, at that time, maybe inpatient. They do a lot of that outpatient, but did you have to have physical therapy?
Yes.
We didn't put that up here, so we don't put this over here, but let's just do a little physical therapy. Let's say you had to have 5 physical therapy appointments at $40 a piece. So you spent $200.
Continue this over here so you guys can see it.
So let's say this year you're going to spend $200 on physical therapy. Now 5 appointments, you're probably going to get more than that, but we'll keep it 5 at 40. Is that right? $200? Okay.
Look at you.
Ooh, boy.
Come on.
Just right there, up top. Okay. Anything else we want to do?
I think we've had all the fun we can have.
Okay, so here's where we're going to go from this. We want to show them what you would have done this year. So this year, in 2024, had you been on a Medicare Advantage plan, you would have spent $250 in the ambulance. You'd spend another $100, that's $350. You'd spend another $80 or another $30, that's $380. And then we would have spent another $45, so we'd have been at $425, right? Okay. So we'd have spent $425 this year on your care.
Yeah.
Yep, on your care. This coming year, based off of all the fun that we've had, and you've said it 10 times through here, Matt, I'm never going to do this. I don't care. Let's have fun, right? Yeah. Let's have fun. Yeah. So this year, based off of all these things you've said are never going to happen, you're telling me that we're saying it's going to cost $1,595. That's us having a whole bunch of fun. Okay, $1,595.
7, 8, 9, 10.
No, let's just
14, 15,
let's roll with it. It
50, 45, 95. It's right. It's right.
Man, you're good.
Put it in the comments if I'm wrong.
Just tell him he's right.
Yeah.
All right. So what we're looking at here is what happened versus potentially what could happen.
Right.
So $1,595 is potentially what could have happened. We know that we still have to pay for prescription drugs, but we also understand that generally speaking, prescription drugs are cheaper in an MA plan than a standalone PDP. So we're going to assume we'll save a couple dollars here and there. But just looking at our care at $1,595, I mean, heck, we can throw another $500 in there just for oopsies.
Yeah.
And still be at $2,000.
Well, and the one number that we haven't mentioned
Is the max out of pocket.
is the MOOP, right?
Yeah.
And around here, let's call it
$3,000.
$3,000.
Yeah.
This, that's your safety net.
Yeah.
We're probably going to look something like this,
Yeah.
but at worst case, we're this.
And I'm really bad about this when I see this in my head. Max out of pocket. So this is absolute worst case scenario. Now, what we haven't added to this number is our Part B premium.
Right. Yep.
So 185 and 12 is what?
Dun,
185
dun,
times
dun,
12.
dun, dun, dun.
So let's add an extra 2,200 on there.
Okay, so $5,200.
Yep, $5,200. So absolute worst case scenario. Now it is more.
It
right?
is more.
It is more.
However, we didn't. I mean, here's the fun part of it, and this is the least fun I've ever had. However, we didn't throw any dental vision hearing gym
None.
membership, nothing
Zero.
like that over here.
None.
So what this does, the reason I would do this math is when I have somebody say, you know what, I don't ever want to look at an MAPD because my uncle said if I have a heart attack, I'm out $28,000.
Yep.
Okay, well, and I'm not just going to say, hey, your uncle's a moron.
Sure.
That's, if you read Tom Hopkins, that's bad
I would
etiquette.
ask him for his license number.
Yeah. But I would say, let's do the math.
Sure.
Let's lay it all out. Okay. Yeah. And I can throw a heart attack on here. And with a heart attack, I may hit this.
Maybe.
I may hit the 5,200, but it's
Yeah.
not 28,000.
Yeah.
It's simply dispelling the myths, dispelling the rumors of what a MAPD is going to cost.
And we know that sometimes when we do this, like, don't take this that we're not trying to push an MAPD. We're simply just trying to show how the math. Now, sometimes it looks like we have a little bit more fun over here because there's more flexibility to have fun. But the math isn't always going to work out. Sometimes the math is going to be, I mean, we're almost $1,000 higher over here. But the key difference is guaranteed, not guaranteed.
Yeah, could.
All that's guaranteed here, quite honestly, is $2,200, which is your Part B premium.
So when I have somebody and the math comes out like here or here even,
Yeah.
there's some people that are going to say, why in the world wouldn't I do this?
Sure. That works.
That's the big reason.
Network's a big reason. The second reason is Medicare Advantage plans are paid to help, save the government money.
Yep.
So there are prior authorizations. There's different rules that are in place. So sometimes these feel a little bit more strict.
Yeah. And other people look at this and they're like, blech, that's complicated.
Yeah.
I just want that. Awesome.
Sure. Do it.
Again, my goal is not to convince you. My goal is to educate you and just say, look at all this and then make a decision.
And then let's put the two plans in front of you. Here's this one. Here's this one. We've done the math. You've asked your questions. Which one do you like?
Exactly.
Now, one thing we didn't add up here. Are we going to do that next?
I don't know.
We did talking about hospital indemnity plans.
Yes, let's do that next. Okay, but let me erase some. You talk about the importance of hospital indemnity plans. I'm going to erase a few things.
Hospital indemnity plans. So one of the biggest concerns, Dallas, and for you listening out there, whenever you're sitting down in front of somebody and they see, they're looking Medicare Advantage versus a Med Sup, they are concerned oftentimes the most about what happens when I go into the hospital.
Right.
Because that's the big number that they see. And this makes them feel more comfortable because they're like, well, I know that I'm only going to pay X dollars a month and come what may, it is what it is. But a hospital indemnity plan is a product that you can put, indemnity plan, the idea there is to make you whole. It's going to be based on, the number of days you're in the hospital, the dollar amount you want to specify. We can be really, really flexible with a hospital indemnity plan, but what it can do is it can bridge the gap for your clients between the comfort of a Med Sup and the ability to pay for what you use of a Medicare Advantage plan while giving you that same level of comfort on your hospital stays and things like that.
Right. So do you want to draw or do you want me to?
I'll draw.
Okay. So here's how I break down a hospital indemnity plan. All right. First off, I'm going to lay out what their responsibility is.
Okay.
It's very important. Guys, it drives me nuts. Let me get on a pet peeve soapbox here for just a second. When people are just, when they're just like, you know what, this is a great plan. It has dental, vision, hearing, all that stuff, right? But they don't go through the benefits.
Yes.
We go through, and as I said on last week's episode, which I know y'all listened to, we appreciate y'all. Last week's episode, we talked about breaking it all down, and we talked about when you come to the hospital. So, the first thing you're going to come to is probably the ER.
Yep.
So I say, okay, listen, for this plan, it's $90 every time you go to the ER. Remind me, I'm going to show you how you don't have to pay that, right? So under you, I'll put ER $90, right? Then I go and I'm going on down through there and I see the ambulance ride. The ambulance is $250. So let's go ahead and put ambulance. Your responsibility is $250, but don't remind me, I'm going to show you how you don't have to pay that. And then I keep going on down and I see hospital. We'll use your figure from a while ago, $300 a day for days 1 through 5. I'm going to show you how you don't have to pay for that out of pocket. Okay. Now, again, like we talked about last week, one thing that you want to make sure of is you're not saying your premium is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0,
Sure.
and then try to sell the hospital on top. I want to tell them the premium for the MAPD is 0. However, I'm going to give you the whole package here with your Part B premium, everything, and then you'll see it. So then I say, now, there's 3 big reasons people hit their MOOP. Okay, the MOOP, let's call the MOOP, let's write it at the bottom of 3,000. There's 3 big reasons people hit their MOOP. Number 1 is a big hospital stay. You can see there, that's $1,500 if I ever go for 5 days.
Yep.
If I do that twice, I've hit my MOOP.
You have.
Okay. The next one is cancer. If I go and have cancer, anything related to cancer, I owe 20% on. So you're going to hit that MOOP pretty quickly. The third one is kidney failure, is what stats tell us. If you go through kidney dialysis or something like that, you owe 20%, you're going to hit that pretty quick. So I'm going to show you how to take care of 2 or 3 of those. The hospital indemnity plan, so I look it up and I give them 2 prices. One is going to be $31 a month. The other one is going to be $58. Okay. And so I tell them, okay, now let's work out and show me how, I'm going to show you how the hospital indemnity plan works. If you go to the emergency room, you need to remember this is a completely separate plan and it is a completely optional plan. But here's how I would do it. If you go to the emergency room, you are going to get paid $150. Okay? Now, your cost is $90. That means you get a pocket $60.
Yep.
Okay? In an ambulance ride, you're going to make from the hospital indemnity plan $200. So that means on an ambulance ride, you would owe $50. For the for the hospital stay, we're going to set it because most hospital indemnity plans, you can set it to, like a cafeteria plan where you can adjust it accordingly. If you go to the hospital, you have to pay $300 a day for days 1 through 5. We can set it to where it's $300 a day for days 1 through 5. Okay? Now, let's paint a picture. Let's say you go to the hospital. You ride in an ambulance and you go to the hospital for 2 days. Okay? That means if you ride in an ambulance, that's $250, and then you're going to owe another $600. So you're going to bring me a bill when you get out of the hospital and everything's fine. You're going to bring me what's called the UB04 form. When you leave the hospital, ask them for it.
Yep.
It's going to show that you spent $850. We're going to take that UB04 form. Depending on the company, we're going to go through the claims process. We're going to get you a check for $800 because it's 2 days.
Yeah.
And so I go through that with my client. Now, the nice thing is I tell them these are optional and these are completely separate, which means the MAPD plan has no idea about the hospital indemnity plan. The hospital indemnity plan does not care about, and they vice versa. No. They do not care about each other. They don't know about each other.
In the silo.
Yep. They are in a silo by themselves. So if you've had a really bad year and you've already met your MOOP, you're pocketing that money.
Yeah.
And we don't tell your spouse or anything. Like, it is your money. That is yours to keep. So that's how we kind of lay out some Medicare math and explain a hospital indemnity. Now,
And what was the premium on this one though?
this one's $31. Okay. Now, and guys, I'm making numbers up here as far as premium, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, it's close.
We said that we could also take care of the cancer. On this one, I would add on a $6,000 cancer rider. If I add that on, that takes it then up to the $58. And you and I can go back and forth and argue about, should it be $15,000 or whatever in case they want to do some different cancer medications or whatever. But right now, to keep it simple for the client, I'm saying $6,000. Now, why $6,000?
I was going to ask you, have we talked about that? Why $6,000?
Because the odds are with cancer treatment, most cancer treatments are 6 months or more. Mm-hmm. That means you have a 50-50 chance of hitting your MOOP in 1 year and then running over into next year and hitting that MOOP again.
Sure.
So that way you're covering 2 years of your MOOP.
Smart.
Yeah. So it's $6,000 there to cover that. So that's kind of how we lay out a hospital indemnity plan. Guys, we sell around here, I would say it's around 80% of all plans. We sell a hospital indemnity plan
sure.
with MAPD plans.
Yeah. And you can be creative in the way you design the hospital indemnity plan as well. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can do there. But yeah, I mean, I'd say probably attach them to 75 to 80%.
Yeah. And what I love about this is when I get done, I'm not asking them, do you want to add the hospital indemnity plan? Mm-hmm. I'm asking, do you want to do the 31 or the 58? Which one of those? I'm going to make them tell me I don't want any of it. Okay, so you understand when they say I don't want a hospital indemnity, you understand your MOOP is $3,000. You could hit that. Like, I just want to make sure you understand that that's what you could hit.
Yeah.
So yeah. Hospital indemnity plans. The next one we wanted to go over, I haven't told you about this one.
Ooh. Can I erase this?
Yes. What if I find someone that is on a Plan F? Okay. We used to do, when I first started in the independent side, we had a lot of people. Now, of course, as of January 1st, 2020, you can no longer sell a Plan F if their Part A effective date is after January 1st of 2020.
Yeah.
However, you are going to find people out there that still have the Plan F.
You will.
And their objection is going to be, Dallas, I don't have to pay for anything.
Yeah.
I pay nothing. Okay. When I hear that, it's kind of a hard sell to make because one, they have to be healthy, right? If you're going to move from an F to a G,
yeah,
which is my goal,
yep,
they have to be healthy.
Have to health qualify for it.
Yeah. There was a day back in the day. Oh man, I'm going to sound like a peepaw here. There was a day back in the day where we had one company that would allow them on their Missouri anniversary date to move from F to G, no health questions, guaranteed issue, and we got paid full commission.
Ooh, boy.
We wrote the mess out of those. Let me tell you, I was out in a sandwich board on the side of 65 highway here trying to sell those. But anyway, I digress. I don't think that company's in business anymore. I don't know why.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. But let's say I come across you and I'm like, Matt, okay, you're paying, let's put up there, you're paying, let's say you're paying for a Plan F, you're probably paying $300 a month.
Probably.
Okay. So $300 a month. I take that times 12, that's $3,600. Right?
Yep.
Now, I am then going to say a Plan G would cost you, let's go, they're older.
Yep.
So it's going to cost more. Let's say that it's $195 a month.
Let's just round up to 200.
I was going to make you do math. 200. You saw that.
Come on, I saw that.
Come on. So you take 200. Thank you. I like how you do your G's there.
Like that.
Yeah, you can tell you're not homeschooled. That was a compliment.
And then I have to.
Yeah. So that's $2,400. Nothing against homeschoolers. I too am homeschooled, so I can say it. All right. I had a van. So I'm telling them, you are saving by going to a Plan G $1,200 a year. Now, what is the difference between a Plan G and a Plan F? There's one thing. It's $257 a year.
Yeah.
So, but Dallas, You don't understand. I went in and I had this done. I paid nothing. I'm like, I understand. And it's hard. These are not easy sales to make. You would think that, because what I do is I get up there and I say, okay, look, you're paying $1,200 to save $257.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Dallas, you don't understand. I pay nothing when I go to the doctor. I understand. You will have to pay $257. And I tell you what, I'll make you a deal. When you have to pay the $257, you can call me and yell at me. Because Dallas, dang it, last year I didn't have to pay anything. And I'll explain to you again, you're saving $1,200 to save $257. Yeah. So this savings that he just did on the top of his head right there. Is $943.
Yeah.
So.
And it seems like, and you're right, this is a very hard sale
to make.
It
shouldn't be.
It should be so simple. But the other thing that we do have to think about and keep in mind is that there are some carriers out there, so we have to be smart about our carrier too, because there are some carriers out there that says, hey, Dallas, if you're eligible for a Plan F, I'm not going to let you sign up for a G.
Yeah.
Got to go with an F. So let's say we found one of these kind companies that lets us do this.
Yeah.
It should be the easiest sale in the world to make.
It should. But what you're doing is you are trying to take something that is not broke and fix it.
Yeah.
So when I do this, I usually do this. I will take, and here's how I explain it. Imagine a swimming pool, because here's what's going to happen. A lot of times, if somebody comes to you and says, Dallas, my Plan F has just went through the roof.
Yes.
What do I do? Okay, that one I can sell. But the one we're talking about is when I come to you and say, hey, what do you have? Oh, I have a Plan F. How much do you pay? I pay $300 a month for it. Okay. And I'm like, man, that's expensive. Yeah, but it's still doable. Let me tell you why you should think about going from an F to a G. Because here's what happens. Celine, am I okay doing this? I'm going to ask forgiveness, not permission. Back when you joined, okay, let's say you joined back in 1999. Or I'm sorry, 2019.
Okay.
Okay. Boy,
we were going back a minute there.
I just had a little brain thing where I was like, holy crap, that was 20 years ago. I need a moment, y'all.
26 years ago.
Yeah. Thank you. So let's say you joined in 2019. Well, here's what was happening. People were jumping into the Plan F pool, right? And there's already a bunch of people in here, right? And they're swimming around, having a good time, maybe doing some Medicare math, who knows? So you got all these people and they're coming in the Plan F. Well, what they're doing too is whenever there's a claim, that money goes out. Well, what happened on January 1st of 2020? They shut the gate, right? They closed the gate. No more people are coming in. There's people, and here's where you are now. This is you right here. The claims are still going out. And not only that, what's happening to the people that are in the pool? They're getting older.
Yeah.
Right? So their claims are actually starting to go out a little more frequently. They have to keep money in the pool. So what do? They raise the rates of everybody in the pool because that's the only way to get money in and keep money in the pool.
Yeah.
So what is going to happen is, I'm not trying to scare you, Mr. Prospect, but it's going to happen. If you want to stay in a Plan F, you can. You can stay in it till you're 120. However, your rates are going to go up and up and up and up if you don't switch now while you're healthy to a Plan G.
Yeah.
So some simple math to kind of help people see what's best for them.
Yeah.
I will say when it comes to math, I'm going to save that for another show.
And this is not, to be very clear, this is not us trying to make a sale. It's simply us trying to educate a prospect to tell them, hey, listen, there might be a better option. This is great. And if you want to stay there, fine. But if you didn't like the rate increase this year, buckle up. Next year is going to be just as much fun, if not more.
Yeah.
So it's simply trying to show them what the option is on the other side of the street.
Exactly.
That could save them a lot of money. It's going to give them a heck of a lot more stability than this.
Yeah.
And then they're still going to have the option if they live in a state like Missouri where we have an anniversary rule where now the world's kind of your oyster to move around as that anniversary rolls around. What you're giving them is option and you're giving them savings potential, whether they choose to take it
That's up to them.
Up to them.
Up to them completely. And remember, the biggest thing here is health.
Yeah.
Don't show them all this before asking them about their health. Because they're like, okay, let's do it. Okay, let's talk about this, sir. In the last 5 years, have you had any? Oh, I've had 2 heart replacements.
Yeah.
And then all this is moot.
Yep.
And you just wasted somebody's
7
time.
variations of that one, and yeah.
Exactly. So we hope this helps, guys. And you know, Medicare math, taking the time to do it, taking the time, and you say, well, Dallas, I'm virtual. Your Zoom has a whiteboard option.
Yep.
Take and use that sucker to do some math.
Get you a
show
pen
your
to write with on there.
Yeah,
Don't use your mouse.
Exactly. Yeah, don't use the mouse. Medicare math can really help you enable your clients to make a good decision, make a better decision. Again, we are educators.
Yes.
Imagine going to class and the teacher never uses a whiteboard. She's just like, if you look in your book, you take this times this plus this times this, and they never lay it out. And if you're a visual learner, you're screwed. Right. Yeah. So take some time, lay it out for your clients.
So that's what happened to my math grades.
It's one of the things for sure. Yeah. So now I'm sure you did well. Guys, we do appreciate you jumping on with us here on the Medicare Sales Playbook. Our goal is to help you increase your Medicare sales one play at a time. We would love to hear from you. If we got something wrong in the math, let us know. We love negative comments. Yeah. Matt takes care of those. But also, we want to hear who should be. We love to interview people. If there's someone here that's killing it in the Medicare world, introduce them to us. We would love to hear it. Like and share and do all the stuff that the cool kids are doing. The big thank you to Celine back in the booth, making us look and sound good. And really, she's the one that laid all this math out and explained it to us. So we appreciate her.
So if the math is wrong,
it's on the kid in the booth. Absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you very much for listening. Matt, thanks, buddy, for being on here.
Always a pleasure.
I enjoyed this. This is the most fun I've ever had doing math.
Second, but yeah, good.
Second. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you again next time on the Medicare Sales Playbook.